So hello guys, today we're gonna be talking about the latest update on the travel Japan border and travel updates basically. So recently the government has been talking about relationship between Japan, South Korea and China and the plan to open the border for tourism which is a joke, especially when the students still can't come into Japan. So the thing that they're going to do is that they're going to be monitoring these tourists 24/7 welcome to Japan, which feels like a North Korea s type of tourism. Basically, you can only you're not allowed to get down from bus unless it's a spot where there will be tourist where you are being directed to see things, and then you are not allowed to go out of the hotels and all of that stuff. And another thing is that this tourism is not going to work, and one of the reason will be you'll be watched by 24/7. If you break the law, if you break the rules, I'd say then it might be a severe consequences for you. That's the problem. And another nonsense is that they are allowing tourists to come into Japan, but at the same time they are not allowing students who really have a purpose to come to Japan. They are not allowing it, which is a nonsense, and that's the problem that we are having now. So Japan has already admitted at least 80,000 of Olympians, attendees, reporters, athletes within a month. And to say that they can't do it within 5 months for, I would say 4 or 5 months, I would say for foreigners it's quite a joke, since they are only allowing 10,000, I think. Or not, it's around 5,000 currently. Around 5,000 allowed in, and with the cases dipping to the new low, I would say that the problem with it is that it's not sustainable, number one, and who knows when the sixth wave will happen, and when it happens, things will start going in circles again, in which we are gonna be stuck. We can go in again. We have to wait for another year, which is a joke, of course. But then the rules still apply. But I do heard that they are banning the number of countries due to new variant found out in those countries. Like I'll say, I think it was some African countries, South Africa. The source I would say probably South Africa and Botswana and some other places in Africa, and possibly Hong Kong, Belgium, Israel. Since three of them also have the Omicron, I would say, I don't know what's the name, new variant. I would say new variant is found in some of these countries, and this variant is much more spreadable. It's much more fast on spreading the virus, which is concerning, especially if you look at Delta and Beta variant. It's the fastest currently. Within only 15 days, it can infect at least 90% of the become the majority within 15 days in South Africa. And this concerns me, as some of us who is currently in waiting to go to Japan as students with the purpose, or as foreigners who can come to Japan not as a tourist. The problem with it is that if the worst case scenario comes in, one person who got this new variant comes into Japan and spread like wildfire, lockdown will happen again. And I wouldn't be sure, but I would predict that it will happen within next 1 to 2 months. It is another concerning part. As you can see, we are moving towards new normal, and they still do this nonsense, which is problem. And the headache itself. And now we need to pressure the government to tell them, to say to them that this is a concerning situation, and we as a student, as a foreigners, we want to come to Japan. We have a purpose. We are not going there to play around, to break those rules that are in place. If we need to quarantine, we will quarantine. If we need to follow the rules monitored by 24/7 within a month, I will do that. But one of the problems is that government won't let us will let us in as foreigners, not as a tourist. Foreigners with a purpose, basically couples and all of that. And that's the point, is that if we continue with this, the number of foreign students coming into Japan, number of foreigners coming to Japan will be much, much less than what would expected. And this would impact on businesses, on economy, and on every single part of labor needed for from migrant worker and all of that. And we can see the crisis coming out in Japan, I think, currently, as they need foreign workers and medical interns, basically. But what they do, instead of letting the students in, let them have some, let's say, help by possibly, part-time job, 28 hours, or even for students who are currently studying at university, they are potential to be technical trainee in Japan. Basically, they become specialized worker, in which Japan currently are in need of. And what they do instead is just to allow this circus to be going on, which causes many of Japanese students who are waiting for, I think, 1 year or 2 year or even 3 months. They can't really wait that long due to financial reasons, family reasons, or basically they don't want to waste their time on this nonsense. They're in. So they move towards South Korea, which is much more. As you can see, South Korea is currently on high on the cases, but at the same time, when you look at the economy, their finance, it's not going towards the worst. It's still normal, at least. While Japan, we start to see some crisis here and there, which is the problem. Is that they don't want to let their country to be running as normal again. They are leaning towards zero corona, as we can see in a lot of countries like China. They are aiming towards zero corona. That's why they are very strict on lockdown, on foreigners letting in. And that's the problem, is that we are seeing this problem and we can't really solve it. We have to wait for government to solve it, which is the nonsense. We are wasting our money. We are willing to do everything we can to go to Japan, but then the Japanese government still don't want us to let us in. Health, we are ruining our health. We are spending so much money. We are basically just be patient waiting with depression, with everything, every mental issue that we are having, and they are still not letting us in. What's the problem is for Japan? I don't really know, but I'm sure that in 1 or 2 months time, the possibility of this variant to come into Japan, new variant to come to Japan and cause a wildfire again, will increase as high as it can. And when that happens, Japan will, if they are aiming towards zero corona and all this nonsense, then they will close the border again, no matter what. But then, if they are smart enough, then they would just let us in. And that's the point, is that we can't really tell what they would do next, and that's a problem. We are still pushing to go into Japan, but what can we do except for wait? So yeah, that's it for now, guys. Hopefully you guys like this video, subscribe and enjoy. and share this video for more future videos, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.